I'll say this. I will say this. I hate, with a capital H, social media sometimes. Get on social media, yeah, and it's like, oh yes, you know, you're surrounded by idiots. The concept is that it feels like you're the only one, only bastard, only X, Y, and Z that is smart sometimes. Of course, this is a very narcissistic view of it all. Very narcissistic. Alright? You know, be like, yes. Alright, so I have had this conversation on Reddit. I've had this, I've seen this conversation played out. I've had this conversation in real life. I know y'all don't like politics. No one likes politics, but I do gotta express this one thing. There's one thing that irritates me. Like, there's more than one gender concept. Everybody's like, it's a social construct. Let me put it to you like this. At the end of the day, language is a social construct. Alright? Get your ass out my tea. Anyway, language in itself is a social construct. Right? Everything is a social construct if it revolves around society. Even the concept of social construct is a social construct. But here's the thing. The reason why genders are associated with physical traits and genetics is very simple. It's because, alright, so what gender are you, cat? This cat here doesn't care about the concept of gender on whether or not if it's male or female. It's a cat. That's all it knows. That's all it cares about. Alright? But what makes it a female cat? Memory glands, a vagina, a damn womb, you name it. Stuff like that makes it a female cat. You know, the organs required to grow and develop a, offspring, its children. Now, of course, many people are like, oh, but that's sex. And like, I'm sorry, but in my vocabulary, and the definition of sex is intercourse, fucking, raw dogging. That what I think when I hear the word sex. Not everyone thinks that sex means gender. There's already a word for explaining what kind of whether or not if you're male or female. It's called gender. Now, of course, many people will be like, "Oh well, gender is not defined by a physical trait; it's a psychological trait." I'm like, it's not a psychological trait. I don't. I am what you call. I'm not fat. All right. I'm decent when it comes to body structure. Just the normal, average male body structure that doesn't lift, much in regards to weights unless you consider center blocks an everyday task. I am effectively a hairy man. But if it's psychological, then I can just simply say that I am a woman despite being, you know, having all of the physical traits as a man. I have all of the traits as a man. But, but, if gender is a social construct, despite having all of the traits of a man, if I consider myself a woman, then I'm a woman, even though I don't dress like a woman, even though I don't have the materials to be a woman, even though I don't have the genetics, the physical makeup, the biology of a woman. Put it simply, I can still be considered a woman. Why? Because I think it. It's the equivalent of saying age is just a number. Like, no. You see, social constructs don't come out of people's asses. Ass, for example, means donkey. You know, like it's a very old English way of saying donkey. All right. Take for example, cat. You know, this cat probably thinks it's a dog. And that dog probably thinks it's a cat. At the end of the day, the word cat is a social construct. In fact, every word I have just used is a social construct, because we're not telepaths. All right? The closest thing that we can get to telepathy is using our vocal cords. And the reason why we have vocal cords is because we needed a way to let others of our own kind know that we exist. All right? We also have vocal cords as a quite possible defense mechanism, from our early days of evolution. I hate people who's like, gender is a social construct. So is every social based interaction that you've ever looked at. Waving is a social construct. The word cat is a social construct. But the reason why gender, and cat is, like it's defined, like gender is defined. Now this is mind blowing. Once again, using the cat as an example. The reason why a cat is called a cat is because, it's exactly that. It's a cat. All right. But you can teach a kid that a dog is a cat and a cat is a dog. And they won't know the difference. It's a label that we give objects. Why is this called a glass? Because, well, it's a label. All right. It's a social label that allows us to convey something. Because if we went just at everything, like going what would that convey? All right. If I just simply pointed at that and go, would you understand that that's an air conditioner and what it does? No, you will not understand that means air conditioner. It blows cold air, instead of hot air. Clean filter so it won't blow dirt around. Of course, as you can see, it makes no sense. So this is what pisses people off. A defining structure, something that defines, men and women, is not a social construct. It is a social construct, but it's not psychological. Gender, asking which gender you are and saying that you're, for example, pansexual, and someone asks you, what is a pansexual? That's not an attack. They want to know what makes you pansexual. Do you have ovaries plus testicles plus a penis? That's what they're asking. Like, oh, but that's, gender is the opposite of sex. Like, when people think of sex, like I said, they don't think, man and woman. They think penis and vagina. So that's the translation error. But at the end of the day, these people have not went to sex ed. And if you're still watching, you just experience what sex ed should be like. Or, what sex ed technically is. At the end of the day, you know, at the end of the day, you can't get logic through an idiot.